Florence slammed North Carolina and it left Virginia largely untouched.
That's raising questions about Virginia Governor Northam's evacuation order for Zone A. Zone A residents that was issued last Monday. Log on to 13newsnow.com/vote to tell us what you think about the evacuation order.
13 News Now reporter Evan Watson reached out to the governor, and Evan, he's standing by his evacuation order.
That's exactly right. Both the governor's office and Virginia's Department of Emergency Response and Management say they had to make that call Monday to give more time to evacuate the other zones later if needed. And that's why they made the call Monday. And VDEM State Coordinator Jeff Stern says Virginia was lucky this time, but if people want to keep flipping a coin, they may not get lucky next time around.
You may have seen the comments on Facebook. People saying the governor's office should have waited one more day. Another person posted on our Facebook page that the area overreacted, but most said they'd rather overreact than fail to prepare. Still, others pointed out the consequences of big decisions like evacuation orders, such as losing money from time off work. However, emergency officials are supporting the decision.
But we would always rather err on the side of caution than to say, oh, it's going to turn and not see that turn.
Governor Northam's office says the decision was not taken lightly and the governor made the correct call, reminding people it was the first time using the tiered evacuation system. Plus, Florence was a projected Category 4 hurricane on Monday.
These storm tracks do shift, and we could do it all for naught. But at the end of the day, did you learn your evacuation zone? Did you put your kit together? Did you learn how the process works a little bit better?
Virginia Beach Emergency Manager Erin Sutton says even as the storm moved south, an evacuation order is not something you can change easily.
And if you're turning on and turning off in a mandatory evacuation, that can be very confusing and can be very difficult.
But the concern remains that some people may not take the next evacuation order as seriously if they remember that Florence didn't end up hitting Zone A.
Because it didn't happen this time, people are probably just going to say, oh, it didn't happen last time, so why are we going to worry about it this time? It's probably going to turn again.
And Sutton says the state and local governments can now evaluate what went well and didn't go well and make changes for the next one.
Every storm is different. We may get one in a month that doesn't have a turn to it.
VDEM says the Commonwealth has spent $41 million to date for emergency response. And in the long run, Coordinator Jeff Stern says the Commonwealth may get about 75% of that total cost reimbursed by FEMA. And for the evacuations, he says traffic out of Zone A increased by 20%, but they're still not sure how many evacuated. In studio, Evan Watson for 13 News Now.